On this brisk October weekend in northern Ohio, the hunt test season is winding down, and handlers and their dogs have gathered for potentially their last chance of the year to earn a Master Pass, Master Title, or that final pass needed to qualify for Master Amateur or Master National. There will be 56 dogs running this Master Hunter test on this particular weekend. The handlers are a mixture of professionals and amateurs, new handlers, and more experienced handlers. Some dogs are trying for their first pass. Some are trying for their 20th. So what the judges see this weekend will be a little bit of everything, and they need to design a test that is fair to all. Judges Jim Buzzard and Bob Samios know what they want to do and have all 3 series of their test mapped out to try to test this level of a dog. In Master, there are 3 series typically spread over 2 days. So they are long weekends for handlers, judges, and workers. The judges have decided to start with the land test. It will be a triple retrieve done as a walk-up, followed by a land blind. Let's listen in on the judges' briefing of the handlers. Here, they will describe the test and expectations.
All right. Co-judge Jim Buzzard, wherever he is, there he is right here. We're having a test today. We're shooting ducks instead of geese, but we only had geese decoys. What you're going to do is you're going to come out of the holding blind. You're going to walk with your gun, and I don't want anybody holding their gun up like this. When you go hunting, you have it in 2 hands, and you're going to aim it, put it at your shoulder, okay? You're going to come up here. When you get somewhere in this area, number 1 is going to go off from behind the bushes there. It's going to land right out in the open. Number 2, there's a bird out there. It's going to land. You could probably see an orange ribbon out there. Yep. It should land right at that. And then number 3 is going to go. This one comes up and it's going to land relatively short. Okay. Pick up the birds in any order you want to. When your dog is coming back from the long bird, which order it is, it doesn't really matter to us. There's going to be a diversion shot. You come back over here, you can move around whatever you want. You can see that there's an orange ribbon down to the right. This is a land blind, not a water blind, okay? It's a land blind. So I'm going to go get the bird out there, and it's going to be planted when the gunshot goes off. When she hears that gunshot, she's going to run down there and plant it. And
well, she may run. I will be walking quickly.
No, wait a minute. Sally Kepke's down there now.
Okay, yes. But when I'm down there,
you're going to run.
I'm going to walk quickly.
All right. All right. Let's give it a try, see if this works, and then we'll go from there.
Is there an honor?
Not yet.
Not for 20 or 30 birds.
Okay, guns up!
Each series will start with a test dog that will be used to test and demonstrate the mechanics of the test. Since this is a walk-up, the handler walks with the dog at heel until the first bird is thrown. The handler then can steady the dog with a whistle or verbal command. The dog must be steady until released by the judges. If the dog breaks, it will be disqualified. There are no controlled breaks in Master.
It looks like this dog was pretty steady and got a good look at all of the marks. I think the challenge of this test is going to be this second longer bird, which most dogs will pick up last. The dog had no problem with the first bird or the second bird picked up. Let's see if my thought on that long last bird is correct.
How important is the speed of the dog in the eyes of the judges?
Well, this dog may be a little slower than some and faster than others. This could be due to its age, and maybe some breeds are just faster than others in general. The judges are more interested in the style of the dog, and this dog seems happy to do the work and has a good attitude. so there won't be any issues there. As suspected, the third longer bird is proving to be a challenge, and if you ask me, that long bird is the heart of this series. The dog needed to be handled to the mark by the handler. The judges would be watching this dog in the next few series and expecting that the dog demonstrates the ability to do a clean triple retrieve.
What makes that last mark any harder than the others? Is it just a matter of distance?
It's not the distance, it's more the concept. When you look at these two marks, they are kind of in between what are known as inline marks and what is known as a wipeout bird. With inline marks, one mark is directly in line with another mark. With a wipeout bird, the closer bird is thrown arcing over the line to the further bird. Both of these concepts can challenge a dog and take considerable training to master. These marks aren't directly in line, but they are close to it. Depending on the distance of the throw of the closer bird, it is probably closer to a wipeout bird. It is called a wipeout bird because the closer bird is said to wipe out the dog's memory of the further bird.
One is one thing.
Now on to the land blind. What are the judges expecting to see here?
The judges know there are a number of factors that could impact the dogs on this blind. In addition to some mildly sloping terrain and a slight left to right wind, you have the scent pile from the shorter mark that the dogs will have to ignore. Second, there is quite a bit of suction on the right with the tree line and cover pockets that will be attractive to the dog. And third, the blind is not that far from the edge of a pond directly behind and to the left of it. If a dog goes too far past or too far right, it just may enter the water and become out of control. The judges will be looking for teamwork between the handler and dog. The dog does not have to line the blind. Rather, the dog should make progress to the blind by obeying the handler's whistles and casts. Too many whistle refusals or cast refusals could disqualify a dog. There is great latitude in judging a blind, and different judges will see things in different ways. Although this dog did get sucked into the tree line, the handler was able to get the dog to the blind with minimal cast and whistle refusals.
Let's watch a few more dogs run this land test.
This dog walks up with the handler under master level control, not lagging behind or forging ahead. The handler also walks up at a good pace and not artificially slow in an effort to keep the dog under control. The dog is very steady and gets a good look at the marks. Also note the handler handles the gun in the way the judges are looking for, raising the gun with each mark as if shooting the bird. Although poor gun handling probably won't get you dropped in the AKC, if you want to make a judge happy, respect the game. Just like the first dog, this dog had no problems with the first two birds, but is having trouble with the third bird. The dog stops well short of the longer bird in the area of the shorter bird. Maybe we are seeing the effects of the wipeout bird. Because the dog needed to be handled, the judges will be looking for a clean triple in at least one of the other series. On the way back from the last mark, a diversion shot is fired. A diversion shot is a shot where no bird is thrown. This typically indicates to the dog that there is a blind retrieve ahead. This dog, like the first dog, gets sucked over to the tree line. The handler is able to get the dog to the blind, however. The dog obeys all of the handler's whistle commands and only has a single cast refusal where it went left instead of back to the blind. This dog will be coming back to the second series. Let's watch one more dog run the land test. Again, this dog walks with the handler under good control. The dog does creep forward slightly when the marks are thrown, but does not break. Creeping any further would have probably resulted in the judges asking the handler to reheel his dog.
Lucy.
This dog has no problem with the longer bird and drives right to it. Job well done.
Hold on. Did she get it? Is it out there?
She walked out.
Okay.
Bye.
This dog and handler do an excellent job on the blind, nearly lining it. It takes only 2 casts to get the dog on the blind. This is an excellent master level land blind. We will let you watch a few more dogs on your own before we move to the second series. We will see you there.
Tingle. He busted a toenail off. About 2 days ago. I was like, how do you do? Come on, buddy. Good. Forward. Good.
As the Land Series wraps up, the judges review their score sheets to determine who will be coming back to the second series and who will not. After that review, the judges determined that 48 of the dogs that ran the first series will be coming to the second. The second series will be a land-water test. There will be a double retrieve and a double blind. Let's listen in on the judge's description of the test.
This is our second series. This is more like a duck hunt. Now you have to mention that a couple of you walked to the line with your gun like this, or your gun like this, and of course a couple of you didn't shoulder it, but that's pretty typical of what goes on. All right, this time you don't have to worry about it, except you have to do shoulder the gun. We have a double. We're going to have the left bird go up the hill, and then the bird on the right, it's a mom and pop size situation, it's going to go in the middle of the pond. Pick up those two, and then we would like you to do the water blind first and the land blind second. Now the land blind is a little tough to see, but when you're down there's a tree that's sort of a V. It's back that first one. It's back there's a big ribbon around it, and you'll see her, unless she's walking in, you'll see her put a bird there. Okay, it's going to be right in front of the tree. It's a land blind. This one here is a water blind. Okay? Anybody that runs the shore, we'll see you next week.
Next season.
The water blind. Okay? Let's go try it.
As the judges noted, these marks are mom and pop. In a mom and pop, both marks are thrown from the same station in opposite directions. Being only a double retrieve, the judges aren't expecting these master-level dogs to have much trouble with the marks. But since the judges decided to only do a double retrieve in this series, that will leave only one opportunity in the third series for dogs that had to handle in the first series to demonstrate a clean triple retrieve.
guess when the handlers turn around and talk to the judges, then they rush it down.
Well, I don't get the when they ask me questions, and expect an answer, and I'm trying to talk. I'm not an old hand at this game, so I need to focus.
By the way, the only people I pick on are the ones I know real well.
Right, I know.
The challenge in this series is the double blind. Let's look at each of them. As the judges noted, this is a water blind. The judges will not have much tolerance for a dog avoiding water here. For younger dogs, there could be a temptation to avoid water and run the bank to the blind. This would certainly cause the dog to be dropped. There is also a small peninsula that extends close to the line of the blind, which will tempt the dogs to grab land. The dogs will need to avoid the peninsula and stay in the water. If a dog grabs land and runs the bank from that point, it would also be viewed very negatively by the judges, to the point of possible elimination. Also, keep in mind that this blind is being run in the same general direction as where the watermark landed, but on a line slightly left of the area of the fall. This could potentially push some dogs to the right. This dog thought about heading to land, but is quickly brought back online by its handler. The peninsula is also a temptation, but the handler is able to keep the dog making progress to the blind. After a few whistles and casts, the dog gets to the blind successfully. A good blind performance in the eyes of the judges. Now let's take a look at the land blind. Like the water blind, the land blind is run close to, if not through, the area of the fall of the landmark. For dogs running later in the order, there will be significant scent build up in that area, which may influence the dogs. Although it seems like the water would not be a factor here, there is also the possibility here of younger dogs wanting to get in the water. Most dogs are trained to get into the water when close to it, as part of their de-cheating training. Some dogs could get confused here about what is being asked of them. However, the water does seem far enough off the line of the blind that we wouldn't expect much of that here. This dog does seem to get hung up with the influence of the old landmark, but the handler does a good job of challenging the blind and keeping the dog making progress to the blind. This dog will be coming back to the third. The second series could not be wrapped up in day 1, so it continues in the morning on day 2. The rain has now moved in. This dog is very excited and ready to go. The judges are noting the vocalization of the dog, which could become a problem if it became prolonged. The dog remains steady despite all of its excitement.
Here. Came back. Work. Sit. Sit. Out. Here. Back.
The dog takes a good initial line to the blind, but begins to fade to the right. It could be the memory of the prior mark coming into play or the existence of a small island in the middle of the pond. The handler is able to get the dog back to making progress towards the blind. The dog sees the peninsula and decides to grab land, and could be in some potential trouble here. The dog refuses the first cast to get back into the water. Realistically, the handler has one chance left to save this blind. He gives the dog a strong over and the dog takes it back into the water. Nice save. The dog runs the bank on the way back from the blind. It really is not that much of a concern here. Running the bank on the way back is a lot different than on the way out. The dog has a few cast refusals on the land blind, but will also be coming back to the third.
The third series is ready to start by midday on day 2. For dogs and handlers invited back to run the third series, their work is not yet done. The series will be a triple water retrieve with an honor. This will be the final chance for a dog to demonstrate a clean triple. The meat of this test, however, will test the steadiness of any dog.
I actually did run that on my dog, so I knew what I expected that. Okay, thank you for coming back. We want to get this done very quickly, hopefully. We just have a triple, very simple one. You come up here, the honor dog's going to be sitting right up here. This gun is going to be moved. We have bird number 1 being shot. It's going to be about 3 or 4 feet off the shore over there, land in the water. Number 2 is going to come out here, and then number 3 is going to come right at us. That's the shot of the day. Birds coming right at you. Okay. Pick up a 3 any order you want, and then we'll see you later on for the ribbons.
Are you gonna release the dog?
Of course.
Okay.
Please, you receive the last bird, receive it in the honor station. That'll speed things up.
Although this may seem like a basic water triple, the second bird is an extremely close splashing bird, providing a great temptation for dogs to break. Not only will the dogs need to not break on the marks, they will have to be steady for that bird a second time during the honor. This breaking bird claimed more than a few victims during this test. Let's watch a few dogs run this test.
Sit. Sit. Sit.
Good dog. Come on, Rock. Good.
There's 2 in the room. I'll just put 2 in here.
Rocks. Back. Good dog. Come on.
Heel. Here. Heel. Sit. Sit. Heel. 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 Sassy. Here, on. Come here. Come on, we got one more. Here. Heel. Sassy. Good girl, here.
From this angle, we can really see the temptation to break for the honor dog. Although this dog crept a bit, it did not break. dog is released by the judges and its work is done. This dog will be collecting a qualifying score and a ribbon for this test.
Well, your back called there. Well, on the short on the number, that's desirable, but exceptional.
I'm not sure you were 36, but 31 will do.
I was sure I was gonna remember to start it.
Yep, I know.
You draw one on the number,
That
but that's
short-term memory is totally gone.
Lunches are here.
Okay, thanks.
You want me to say the ham?
Yeah, please.
Ham, what would you like? Turkey ham, spicy Italian. What's your spicy Italian? It's got salami. Pepperoni. Just two places, I'll make sure.
Aren't you embarrassed now? On this? Oh my God. I always wonder if dogs get embarrassed. I always go more. Right, here, go. Here, go, go, go. Well, here. Here, here. Oh!
The final dogs complete the series and the test is concluded. The judges take some time to review their score sheets one final time before awarding qualifying scores. On this weekend, 35 of the dogs that ran earned a passing score. Some dogs earned their Master Hunter title. Some earned that last pass needed for Master National or Master Amateur. The rest will be coming back another day. But for this area of the country and the time of year, the tests will be few and far between. Many will travel south to enter hunt test in warmer climates. Some will wait until next year. But you can be sure, at this level, the handlers will keep at it until they reach their goals. We hope you enjoyed this first look at a master test. We will be back soon with a deeper dive into the Master Hunter test. But for now, happy training.